life started falling into place perfectly at an early stage.
I've tried being strict. I haven't tried being nice with her.
I know. The truth is that she hates you.
You know when I told you God led me to take up the position in your hospital?
Yes?
Well, she's at your hospital.
Mr. Kolade, Mr. Odili will have you now.
Mr. Raymond, we both have copies of your resume here. But can you tell us more about yourself?
My name is Raymond Kolade. I'm a civil and structural engineer. I have designed and supervised various projects across the country, and I've also been involved in various structural intensive projects like bridges and drainages and roads. And this was when I was in my former company at Julius Berger about 2 years ago.
Well, I heard you speak about structural intensive projects. Can you give me a few examples of the projects you've worked on in the past?
I was involved in the construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, toll gates, Palm Grove, Onipa, the overhead bridges in Oshodi. I mean, virtually all the overhead bridges in Yaba.
That is very impressive. But now I am quite curious. What were your roles and duties in these different projects?
I was a quality control manager, so I was saddled with the responsibility of performing load tests, structural stress tests, and all other tests to ensure that these projects and constructions were achieved at a failure rate that was acceptable.
Yeah. Mr. Raymond, I can see a very experienced person. or most of your experiences are more on the transport structures. Yeah, but why did you choose to go for this job when you know we are based on the housing structures?
Well, even transport structures are structures. The only difference is that they are reinforced. Bridges, drainages, they are all structures. And aside from that, when I left my job 2 years ago from Julius Berger, I was awarded with over 20 contracts for design and supervision, and all these contracts were housing projects. I was responsible for the new shopping complex in this area, and also I was responsible for the new set of classes that was constructed at Handel School.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was.
You are responsible for that. You know, when I saw that building, I was very impressed, and I've been expecting and hopeful that I would meet the designer. It's very aesthetic.
Thank you, sir. Well, aesthetics was not our only focus in that project. I mean, we did a variety of tests. We did the load test, the life test, the impact test, the tensile test, and a lot of tests to ensure that that building is very durable. And from our calculations, that building will still be standing even after 100 years.
Mr. Raymond, how did you do your calculations?
Well, there is no exact formula for that, but from the materials used in the construction, we can deduce how long a material can last. Now, steel is one of the strongest metals we have, and from experience, bridges that are reinforced with steel have the ability to last over 100 years. So that was how we deduced that the structure would stand even after 100 years.
Yes. Alright, yeah, steel can last up to 120 years.
Exactly.
Alright, I think just give me quiet. Yes, I would give you a heads up, please. Alright, congratulations, Mr. Raymond. You got the job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Alright, you just get your medical test and the appointment letter will be sent to you.
Alright.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I can't understand. It's really not very
I got
Awade, àwa lọmọ tó ń sọ tí ó ṣèké, Orímọládé gbé mi dé bẹ́ẹ̀, jìgàn ẹsẹ̀ mi ò délẹ̀, àlàyé mi stop ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, ó fẹ́ jẹ́ bí, mo tún fẹ́ jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, ó pọ̀sẹ̀, àgbáwo fẹ́nu fò fẹ́ sún sẹ́yìn, àmọ́ra wa ṣe kẹ́. Àbínibí yàtọ̀ sábìlìtì, ẹ sọ fún wọn tó bá tẹ́rìsì, wọ́n máa pa lórí ìtẹnukọ́ èmi promise, àwọn tẹ fọ́ fún mi, torí kò sẹ́lù mi, mẹ́ni fẹ́ dàbí mi ẹ̀rí bí, ẹ̀kọ́ lọ́run tóbi, mo dàṣọ ẹbí for my country, you can call me Mr. Money.
Okay, so just send the quotations to me. We'll find a way to agree on something. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Can you give me a few minutes? I need to attend something in my office. Yes. Thank you. Mr. Raymond Kolade, how are you? I hope you're well.
I'm doing fine. And you, sir?
I honestly can't complain. I am doing quite well. Work has been going relatively well. Speaking of work, I have a new project I would like to put you in charge of the design. I trust that you really do a very brilliant job. Don't worry. I would get someone for you to work with. Someone will show you and make you understand and basically bring you up to speed. Give me a few minutes. Please, can I have Priscilla in my office? Priscilla she's quite familiar with that particular project. It's at Lekki Aja. So she will put you in charge of designs and show you the various things you need to know.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, welcome, Priscilla. Okay, good, perfect. So, Priscilla, Mr. Raymond Kolade, Mr. Raymond Kolade, Miss Priscilla. So you'll be responsible for making him understand the project requirements and the basic things in the project. Yeah, so you can leave. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Praise. How fun? How you doing? I mean, I'm good. I can't complain. Yeah, work was hectic. They bombarded me, guys. See, the moment I resumed, like immediately I resumed, they put me in charge of a project. Bro, like I had to start work ASAP, like immediately. Share my colleagues. Yeah, okay. Just that one lady was looking at me one kind sharp. Or I mean, at the end of the day, she was calm. Please don't they talk like that now. Don't they talk like that, eh? Don't be say, babe, they look me. Like she was just imagine you resume work the first and then they put you in charge. That was all. Celebrate this guy. You too like party. Okay, no problem now. We'll celebrate soon. I mean, probably eat out or something. Sorry, say what? Alright now. Take care. Bye. Praise it. This man.
So, Mr. Raymond, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. So the major need of our clients is the apartments with a beautiful open field. But their land is so small, so this will not be possible. One of our core values here at OD Consolidated is to always satisfy our customers. And in order for me to do that, I decided to convert all the apartments to a 10-story building while still providing the beautiful open field. Now this apartment is a residential apartment and it is very close to a beach. So I included a window view to the part that is close to the beach to ensure that the residents always have a very beautiful view in the morning when they wake up.
I appreciate that presentation. However, a minor problem that I believe I have is, I believe I heard you say it's going to be a 10-story building, but the problem with that is, have you considered the structural integrity and how it will be affected by the load-bearing ability of the building? So how do you plan to mitigate that risk?
Very well, sir. And I have included that in my design. Now, I made an estimation of 50 people per floor, which will give a total average of 500 people in the whole building. Now, this total average of 500 people would contribute to the life load of the building. And also, we have to include the moving objects in the building. Now, we are going to be using steel reinforced decking, as you can see. And steel unit is going to be used as the weight for the dead load. In order for us to accommodate the life and dead load of the building, we'll use a thickness of 0.5 meters steel for the reinforced decking. And that way, the failure rate of the building is going to be increased to 2.5%, which would extend the lifespan of the building from 50 years, which was the original plan, to 100 years.
Okay, that is very good, Mr. Raymond. I see you did your due diligence. I'm glad I hired you. Well done.
class? Today we'll be learning on how to draw objects in orthographic planes. Last week I taught you all how to draw in isometric projection, and I gave you all assignments. I hope you all did it.
Sir, I don't understand the isometric projection you taught us last week. No one understood. No one did the assignment, sir.
Don't understand? Were you not listening in class?
Sir, I was listening in class, but you're just reading from the textbook. Not bother explaining.
Are you trying to say I don't know how to teach? Wait. Keep quiet, let me hear James.
Sir, it's not what I'm trying to say. You don't know how to teach, sir.
James? You're trying to be that way? Master James, stand up and leave this class.
Leave this class. I paid my school fees to the full, sir.
James, I said leave this class. James!
Get out, Jerry! I'm going to see the principal.
Good morning, Ma. I'm fine. Okay, I called you to the school this morning concerning James.
Okay, Ma.
James has been behaving rudely recently. He beats up his classmates. He bullies his friends. In fact, I got a report that he almost beat up his teacher.
What? James, is that true?
Well, sorry to say, ma'am, it is definitely true. We've been getting reports of James' lackadaisical attitude for the past 3 months. In fact, James is not actually as innocent as you think he is.
What is it that you want that I don't do for you, James? Answer me! After everything I do for you, James. So you have just decided to be rude and stubborn. Oh my God.
Miss Abigail, I think you should calm down.
Do you want to kill me? Do you want to kill me? Don't I give everything you want? God.
Mrs. Abigail.
Yes.
I think James needs a tough hand. What about his dad? Is he not always around?
He's usually not around, but I'll handle it.
Alright, if you say so, no problem. But I must say, Mrs. Abigail, if he continues with this misbehavior, we have no choice but to suspend him for a whole school term.
No, you don't need to do that. He will change. I'll handle it.
Alright, no problem.
Alright. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Ma.
So.
And where do you think you are going to?
I'm going to
When I'm still talking to you.
What do you want me to say?
What do you mean by what do I want you to say?
That man stood up face to slap my face. I was only defending myself, ma.
So you now have the right to yell at me? You now have the right to yell at me after everything I do for you?
Oh, please tell me what you do for me. Apart from buying me shoes, shirts, and bags.
Don't you dare talk to me like that, James. Don't you dare.
No. You asked me to talk to you. Because nowadays you don't seem to appreciate my own opinion about things. Just like how you and dad left without even asking wow I felt.
Don't you dare talk about that because you know what your dad did to me.
Please don't use that to blackmail me. I'm going to my room. I'll see you.
Oh God, what do I do? Oh God help me, oh God help me, God help me, what do I do? God help me, God help me, God help me, God help me, please help me, Lord, help me, Jesus, Lord, please help me. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, James is misbehaving again. Yes, I don't even want to start telling you the things he does. Now, he beats up his classmates, now he even yells at me.
Calm down, Abigail.
Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. James will start coming to your place during the weekends from now on. I think he needs a father figure in his life.
Abigail, you know I'm very busy with this work. You know I'm not there, man.
See, I don't care. I don't, whatever it is you want to do. Maybe you will have to cancel your weekend schedules. I don't care. All I know is that James will be coming over to your place during the weekends.
I can't do my job, Abigail.
I don't care. James will start coming to your place during the weekend. Prepare for him, okay? Bye.
All right, so we've been reading Matthew 5, and we know it talks about the Beatitudes, right? So please, can somebody read this verses 14 to 16 of that chapter for me?
Matthew 5:14 to 16 says, "You are the light of the world."
You are the light of the world. Continue.
A city set on a hill cannot be hid, nor do men light a lamp and put it under a bushel, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. We all heard what she read, right? So what that verse is trying to tell us is that we are children of God, and we are meant to lead people to the kingdom of God, which is the light. Now, how do we do this? By living according to God's purpose in our lives. We act according to His will. Do you understand? Yes. Now, some of us unknowingly cover this light by doing what is not in God's will for us. And in this way, we cannot lead people to the kingdom of God. Do you all understand? So, in order for you to lead people to the kingdom of God and lead them to the light, you have to live according to God's will for you. Any questions? Yes, Jason.
What if we unknowingly cover the will of God because we didn't realize it on time? How do we know the will of God for our lives?
Praise the Lord. Please, can we clap for Jason? That's a very beautiful question. So Jason asks, what if we unknowingly cover the will of God, the light of God in our lives? It's simple. All you need to do is pray and ask God. And trust me, there will be answers. Do you understand?
Yes.
Daddy, good afternoon. Mommy.
My son.
Good afternoon.
How come me? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. FC! Hi. How are you now? Look at you now, you're a big girl.
How are you doing?
Mommy, I'm doing well. I'm doing
Where
fine.
will you?
Mommy, I'll come and visit. Mommy, soon. I cannot promise you. I've been busy with work.
Which work? Work that you cannot
Mommy,
come and
I'm sorry. I'll try. I'll try and visit you people.
All right.
No problem.
Okay.
You've called your mother again.
You've called her again. No.
How are you?
Daddy, I'm doing well, as you can see.
How is work, by the way?
Work is stressful, but thank God.
You'll be around that once morning.
Daddy.
By the way, I saw you teach right there. Man, I'm impressed. So you need the teacher about
Daddy. It is well.
We'll be on our way, alright?
Okay, sir.
See you around. Make sure you pick your mother's call.
I'll pick her call, sir. No problem. Mommy, I'll try and see you people, eh?
Bye.
No problem. Oh, yeah, bye. All right, bye. FC, be a good girl. Don't stress me. I don't finish all the rice in the house here. I'll get you ice cream next week. All right, bye.
Raymond, Colady. Raymond.
Yes?
How far now? What's up? What's wrong?
Fine. It's not, can we start going now?
No, you were thinking about what's wrong? What's wrong?
See, it's just that my father, he complimented my teaching today.
But everybody knows you are good with children. Is there anything like that?
Praise. Some months back, I had this dream where I was teaching in secondary school, and every time somebody compliments my teaching, I always get these flashbacks.
Have you prayed about it?
Praise, is that something to pray about?
Come on now, you're a Christian, eh? And for the fact that it has been reoccurring, you're supposed to pray about it now. Okay?
All right, I've heard you.
See, are you planning on going home now, or...?
No, I plan on eating out, though.
Perfect. There's this new restaurant that opened.
You always know restaurants, eh? You this man. You this man.
See, I really need Arsenal to win.
Hey guys, happy Sunday, how are you?
If they close my eyes, I'll see that it's Jessica.
I'm gonna leave this one, Joe. Will she ever change?
Sorry, man, that is work now.
Hope it's fine. I'm doing well. I can't complain.
We're giving job on the spot. My guy with the brains. I hope it's not too late to congratulations.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, your journey, I hope it was not stressful.
It was exhausting but beautiful, as usual.
See, they did not tie your hands to the job. You can as well leave it.
Shut up.
Two of you, eh?
Hey, Raymond, you can share with Praise what you told me?
Oh, no, Jared.
Come on, let's have it.
Yeah. Jesse, you always have your way with me. Okay, so this is the thing. A few months back, I had this dream where I was teaching in a secondary school. Now, every time I teach and somebody compliments my teaching, I get flashbacks. And I've also been seeing signs that are telling me that I'm not fulfilling my purpose where I'm currently working. So it's kind of been bothering me for some time now. And I just can't get it off my mind.
Sorry if I may ask, are you really enjoying this workplace? Does it pay well? Because at the end of the day, it's money we're all looking for.
I mean, yes, better than I expected, Seth.
How is the job environment? Is it toxic?
My colleagues are.
Then what are you looking for? Can't you see that it's clear enough? God has prepared for you a green pasture. Just lie in it.
See, the thing is, even if he has gotten what he wants, doesn't mean that he's fulfilling his purpose there.
So he's fulfilling his purpose by leaving his beautiful place of work. Why can't he fulfill his purpose at his current place of work? I mean, if he really has it, he can tutor teenagers and hold extra classes. I really feel he can fulfill his purpose at his current place of work, whatever his purpose is. Raymond, think about it.
I mean, I've heard you guys. I better let the food come and bring my belly they bite.
For real?
Waiter, please bring my chicken.
Well, Mercy, I called you to my office today because I've been looking at your class performance in all your assessment, and nobody has a hope of getting an A. You understand? And at this, very few can pass. You understand, Mercy? But not to be too wicked, I consider at least my beautiful class monitor. You know, it's nothing too hard for a teacher like me to do.
Sir, if you're talking about... So it's not really possible because I don't really understand what you're trying to say, sir.
Mercy, are you trying to say you don't get my point?
Sir, if you're talking about... It's not possible. Sir, this is secondary school. It's not like that's not possible, sir.
Mercy, my class monitor. You know, Mercy.
Sir, I really don't get and I really don't understand, sir.
Calm down, Mercy.
Sir, you can't do this, sir.
Mercy,
Sir, you cannot do this. Sir, please.
Yes.
Sir, please. Sir, please, I'm begging. Sir, please. Sir, please. Sir, please.
When they employ you, this could say following peanuts. Small girls.
Mr. Kayode, calm down. Let's talk this as men. Calm down. Hey! In fact, how much am I going to pay for this issue to go away?
Are you trying to bribe me? I'm not like that.
Mr. Kayode, calm down. Come.
Ha! Hey! Ha! Hey! But this was secret life.
Mr. Kayode, you can trust me on this. Mr. Kayode, you can trust me on this. I'm not going to fail, okay?
You're my guy now.
Mr. Kayode. You know, these women, when they push us to the wall, and we react back, they'll start shouting.
Who do they think they are?
But I thought you liked peanuts.
No, I love peanuts.
Mr. Kayode, that's nice.
You guys, I've been hearing rumors about the girl that was almost raped in our class. I wonder who it might be and how true it is. I don't really think, I really believe that is true because our school teacher is involved. How do you know? I know. I knew it. Deep down me, I know that something like that is going on.
Anyway, Sha, one thing about this school is that one that they even like the fact that I know that this school will not resolve this issue. See, because to protect the school's image, they will decide that it's best to just blame it on the girl, say that she's promiscuous, and then just keep the image of the school and package them on one side. That's what they don't do anything about it. I know them.
No, that's not fair.
See, this life, nothing is fair. And Nigerians, see, I beg, nothing is fair. See. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I did not tell you anything.
Don't worry.
Did I see you?
Who are you?
Did you see me?
Exactly. Don't worry. You're all right. Let's go. We're going to have class before they catch us. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I agree with Priscilla's idea when it concerns the choice of the material for us to use for the project. Do you have any takes on that?
Same here, sir. I also agree with her.
Okay, that's good. In fact, I believe we can adjourn this meeting for later. Thank you. But Raymond, please, I would love to speak with you. Now, I have a few issues that I would like to discuss with you. Hello? Yes, this is he. Oh, Mr. Thomas, how are you doing? I hope you're well. What? Why would the deadline change without my involvement? You know I love to deliver my work excellently. Now this will just disorient everything. But you know what? Just keep me updated. We'll find a way to go around it. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Sir, what's going on?
It's the Sandfall project. They've shifted the deadline by about 4 weeks.
What?
Yes, and now, you know I love delivering on excellence, but I don't really know how we're going to go about this. But would you be available this weekend for us to walk over the paperwork and quickly complete the designs?
I don't mind. I'll be available.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raymond. Have a nice day.
Thank you. So, sir, I feel like we should add wrought iron composites to the materials we're going to be using because it has a very high reliability rate.
Yeah, I think that was the material Priscilla suggested.
Yes, that was also the material she suggested. And also, we can make use of.
Oh, my son is around, James.
Oh, James, welcome. How was school today? James, you nice kicks.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Sorry, that's my son, James.
Wow, he's a big boy.
Yes, he is. He's a real big boy. Well, I've been having some problems with him. I made a mistake in the past and it has really made our relationship deteriorate. But I believe I wanted to speak with you one time in the office.
Yes, I do recall.
It was the one I wanted to discuss with you about. I wanted to ask if you had any contributions, anything that would help my relationship with James, because I believe I've tried everything, but it's not just working.
You see, I have a younger sibling, and I personally understand that local relationships can take time to heal. I mean, but with God's grace, it will eventually heal. See, all you have to do is start by listening to them. I mean, he definitely has some things he wants to get off his chest, and apart from that, try to be patient with him, see how much bit of a tolerance you can give him, and also, make.
Hi, Roman.
Hi, Priscilla.
Yeah. Concerning the project, I thought the last time we finalized that we'll be using it to the PA1 for the reconstruction.
Yes, in the last meeting, I think.
Yeah, but then I'm seeing how it's still,
Well, I mean, it's coming corrected, right?
Yes, but... Sorry.
Interesting.
Man, please, have you seen my phone? I'm looking for it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so back to what we're saying.
What do you do for fun?
Well, I go to the restaurants, try new food, movies, meet up with friends, many more.
Okay. So, I think we'll be busy this weekend.
Nah.
Perfect. So, there's this new restaurant my friend discovered, and I don't know if you mind going out with me this weekend.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so.
We're saying something about the 2DPA. Well, I think we should replace it as. Hi.
Hi, Roman. Thank you.
I just have to say, you have a really good sense of fashion. I mean, you look ravishing today.
Thank you. You look good as usual.
Thank you very much. These presents are getting too much. I've ordered your favorites. So please, can we have the meal?
Thank you.
So,
hope it was not stressful coming here.
Not at all.
It was easy to locate this location.
Sure.
I trust you because I know you're smart. I like your smile too.
Thank you.
How do you balance work and all of that?
All of what?
I mean, the other day when we were discussing and you left, your alarm rang for prayer time.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
So basically, I make God my source. I just make sure that I know that I can't do anything without Him. So it's basic.
Do you get to elaborate more? Because I'm interested.
Okay. Basically, like I said, I put God first in everything I do. Yes, I do all this whole decision making, to-do list. But if you check it, God is always my number one. To pray to God, and I read my word. I read the word of God every single time, and that helps me to, build my relationship with God. Because I know fully well that the flesh can feel, but the spirit never feels.
Wow, that's really beautiful. I mean, I never thought that you were a lover of God to that extent, and you're quite in those. Oh, sorry, give me a minute.
Sure, no problem.
Hello, Epsi, what's up now? I'm fine. How are you? What? Which hospital?
Raymond.
Alright, I'm on my way now.
What happened?
My mom just had an accident. She's at the hospital not far from here. I'm
coming with you.
You don't have to.
I wasn't asking. I'm just telling you.
Oh my goodness. Mommy. Mommy, I also hurt your leg.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mommy.
Good afternoon.
Daddy, meets Priscilla, my colleague at work.
Hi, Priscilla. It's a pleasure.
Good afternoon, sir.
You have such a lovely name.
Thank you very much.
I hope my son is not so much of a trouble.
No, ma.
Did he invite you to ask you to visit me?
We were actually together when we received the call, so I said it's Saturday.
Mommy, leave her alone now.
It would have been nice for you.
Oh, this is your wife, eh?
See, if it's not that I was there, I would have thought it's a lie.
Exactly.
She's too violent.
Her mouth is still.
It was just my leg that got injured, not my mouth.
Someone will not kill somebody. I'm quite impressed at the speed at which we finished the project. I mean, it was so seamless, and I mean that was quite impressive.
True. By the way, how's your mom doing?
She's doing quite well. Do you mind following me to the hospital because I'm heading there now?
Yeah, sure, let's go.
Let's go. So yes, and the other thing about
Hey, Colin, have you observed that chemistry between Priscilla and me?
serious chemistry, I've seen it.
Hey, everybody in our department sees it. There was a time I even followed them for field work. Serious oppression. Those two really fit though.
What I'm waiting for now is their wedding. Then it's party rights.
So you don't have rice to eat in your house?
How about now? Party rights hit different.
Tell me more.
Katrin, I've been looking at you differently. I was thinking of a compatibility test between us.
Me too. You?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you've got the wrong person. Hey! Sorry, guy. You can learn from Raymond. He'll teach you well. Sorry.
Are you mad? Why would you go and tell Shade things like
what
that
kind of
about
question
me?
is that? You know the kind of person Shade is, so why are you listening to things from her? What if I did not actually say it?
You are the only one.
Shade is not a gossip.
You are the only one.
I just don't have confidence. I don't even know why
that.
you even heard
Don't
about
even tell me that.
See, to be honest, I don't know why you're shouting. You're supposed to
Hey, what's going on here?
Talk to me, calm me. Don't
Hello,
shout
stop
at me.
fighting. Hello, what's going on?
Shout at
Hey,
me.
what's happening
Don't
here?
shout at me.
We are sorry. What's happening here?
She went to go and tell a friend of hers, not mine, things that I confided in her about.
Why would you do that?
She's lying. She's lying. It's obvious that she's lying.
I am not lying. You know that I am not lying.
She's lying.
See, let me explain something to you guys.
Bye. Just like that. Few words settle the fight. I mean, why not become a teacher? The kids will love you since you can handle them.
What do you mean by that? No, Priscilla, talk to me. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by I should become a teacher? So just because I settled a very simple dispute here, I should become a teacher. If you're the one that settled this, would you become a teacher? See, I would appreciate it if you do not put your mind in my interest. Please. What nonsense is that?
Wow.
James, what's going on? I thought you said you could play this game.
Papa, press the pad.
This is 8-0 and it's just half time.
Daddy, he's cheating. How would this be 8-0?
Are you sure he's cheating? Or he's not cheating? Are you playing with the pad or the pad is playing?
Play.
No.
Slide.
Oh, no.
James, what's wrong with you?
James, what's going
Smile
on?
now, eh?
You can
Yeah,
see
I'll be
lies.
lenient
It's just half time.
with you now. I'll be lenient with you now.
You can see for lies. No. Ah.
Play, be a man and play. Take the pad and play. Oh yeah, wait.
Play with it.
Let me take this free kick. Let me take this free kick.
He will not score. Shift your keeper. Shift him. To the other side. Not the other side, James.
You know my dad really likes you.
Why do you say that?
Ever since you've been working with him, you've always been coming to our house every week. And it's really nice.
James, it's just because of work. That's why I'm here.
Because of work, you'll not be coming here every weekend. No, guy, he really likes you, guy.
I'm glad he does. James, you know he loves you though.
Who?
Your dad.
Because, I don't know.
James, you need to give your father a chance. I mean, he talks about how he wants to get close to you every time at work.
I beg, you should not try that. You should not try that because I've given him a lot of chance. I've given him all of them because when I was really younger, I really like looking up to him. You know, as per a father figure, like I want to be the man he is. I want to follow his footsteps, but over time, started showing us less love, less attention. My mom usually complained. I thought she was overreacting, but then I started noticing how he would not be around, how he could be an absentee father. But later, we kind of discovered that he was actually sleeping with another woman outside. And it was kind of disheartening because it really hurt my mom. You have to know, it really hurt her so much. And to see your mom cry like that every night will break your heart at one point in time in your life. And it's very hard. So it's very hard for me to give him a chance to be the father he could have been.
James, I understand why it's so hard for you to forgive your father. I mean, I can't imagine all the pain he has put you through. But I can relate because I used to go through something like this too. I mean, when I was way younger, my dad was a drunk. And he used to beat my mom and abuse her physically. I mean, every night I could hear every slap, every punch. I could hear her wailing, James. And I couldn't do anything. I would just be in my room, shivering. The moment I decided to stand up for my mother, one night he was beating her as usual. I ran into the room one night when he was beating her and tried to hold my father's hand. And he flung me. And James, I went unconscious. When I woke up, I found myself in the hospital. And my father was not even there, James. In order to protect my mom, my sister and I, we decided to start living separately. And I mean, I grew up to be independent and I became so bossy. A few years later, I was dating this lady and I used to abuse her physically too. James, I would beat my girlfriend with my hands. And one day I beat her till she was bleeding profusely. And when I looked at my hands, James, they were full of blood. It was at that moment I knew something was wrong with me. James, every cell in my body dreaded that man. And I was becoming that man. I was becoming my father, James. It was at that point I knew something was wrong with me. It was at that point I knew I was not okay. And I cried out to God to help me. Though my mom had forgiven my father, but I could not just do it until I had God in my life. And it was easy for me to forgive my father. James, you need to forgive your father.
It's really hard. It's really hard to forgive that man. Really hard. I'll try.
James, let me tell you something. I know it's hard. But I want you to open up your heart to God. Because if you do not open up your heart, you cannot receive what God has for you, James. open up your heart and it will become so easy. I mean, cast your cares and burdens onto him, James. Funny thing is, my father later got to know Christ because the love we showed him was enormous. The love my family showed him was enormous, and he repented. And now my relationship with him is perfect. James, you need to give your dad a chance. You need to forgive your father. So, James, don't forget what we discussed. Yeah?
I understand.
James, what's this?
Well, I know the assignment, the TD one, the technical drawing.
So, why is it not complete?
I was trying to draw this in isometric, this one. Yes, isometric drawing. But I don't really understand it.
This is like one of the easiest parts and most interesting parts in technical drawing. Get me a maset and set square. So, what's the name of your school?
Handel High School, have you heard of it?
Handel High School. I did some projects there, you know.
Oh.
Yes, I was responsible for the new block of classes that was constructed at Handel High School.
You mean those new block of you built it?
Yes. So, now for you to complete this drawing, all you have to do is just place your ruler here and make sure this line is parallel. Then you draw another line to make sure it's also parallel at this end. And when you draw it, you draw this line like this. Dimension on your sides. Bam. Bam. And that's all.
Oh, wow. This thing is really easy.
You understand it now, Abi?
I understand. So you're not going to be teaching me like this?
Anytime, I can be teaching you.
No, this thing is actually very easy. So you're not going to teach us in our school like this?
James, what happened to the teacher in your school?
Oh, that rubbish man, leave that one alone, Jerry. You don't even know how to teach. I was just reading this textbook for. See how this thing is even easy. I even heard that he even tried to rape our class captain.
What?
Yes, sir. That man like this tried to rape her. But they fired him. And there's no vacancy. Nobody teaching us now.
What about my job with your father now, eh? James, don't talk about your father like that, eh? He's still your father.
I'm sorry.
Good.
I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Concerning Mr. Popular's project, I hope we have come to an end with that. Has he been able to inspect it? Okay, that's fine. And also, can you help me contact Raymond and Priscilla? I would need them to come over this weekend. I have a new project and the deadline has been shifted closer. Yes. Yes. It's very urgent, yes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay, so let's move on to the Random project, the Random Hotel project. Random Hotel wants to build a similar branch like they have, like we've done for them before at Lekki Aja. However, they want to put more emphasis on luxury. So do you guys have any ideas?
Maybe we should... Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Please, Mr. Raymond, just go ahead.
Alright, I feel like a pool and a fancy restaurant should be included in the design.
Okay.
Now, the fancy restaurant will be at the front of the hotel because it will be a very good environmental attraction. Then the pool could always be at the back of the hotel.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Do you have anything to contribute to that?
Well, for me, I think the pool should be at the front. Nothing speaks more luxurious than a luxurious pool that lights up in the dark. And to be of great attraction for the bar.
It's supposed to be luxurious, not flashy and cheap.
Okay, you know what? Since you guys can't agree here, we have a deadline to meet, which is Monday. So you guys should go and figure something out. Today being Saturday, we have a 2-day window to solve all the problems. So the meeting is closed, so let's leave. I appreciate you guys. Are you seeing this? How does Raymond even do it?
Do what, sir?
Relate so fluidly with my son. To be sincere, I've been trying to relate with James for years. But I must confess, with his intervention and help, my relationship with James has really grown.
I must agree with you, sir. I think it's his superpowers. He loves kids and kids love him at the same time.
You know, Raymond has really done a lot for me in regards to my son. He has really made him a better person. I can't even recognize him. But Raymond's already here.
Thanks for coming.
Take care, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Priscilla! Priscilla! Priscilla, please wait, please. I just want to tell you that I'm sorry about what I said the other day.
It's fine, no problem.
No, Priscilla, please listen to me. The thing is, I don't know how I acted. Everyone has been talking about this teaching thing, and when you mentioned it earlier, I just lost it.
Raymond, I mean, what actually happened? Like, I was shocked. I didn't even know what to say.
My emotions got the best of me. I'm really sorry.
What's even so bad about teaching? I mean, it's obvious. You love kids. You love them being around you.
Come on, Priscilla. It's teaching we're talking about. And besides, I already have a job.
Yes, we know it's teaching we're talking about. And teaching is not bad. Are you even sure you're fulfilling your purpose where you're working? Did you even ask God before you started working there? Or you're just working according to your decision? I mean, if you know you want to work in God's direction for you, you will open your heart and receive Him. Think about it, please.
All right. I'll think about it. Am I forgiven now?
Yes, you're forgiven.
Priscilla, am I forgiven
You
now?
are forgiven.
James! Okay. Your mom is here.
So, how are you? Did you enjoy the film?
Abigail, please, can I have a word with you? Please.
Alright, James, wait for me in the car.
Abigail, I know this is the last one, okay? I know I'm probably the last person you want to get with. I've caught you and I've kept courting you for the past few years. And all I want to say now is I am deeply, deeply sorry. I don't know the amount of words I can say to fully convey how I really feel about you. But all I can hope for is that you find it in your heart to forgive me. I am deeply, deeply sorry. Please, Abigail. Please forgive me.
James, my boy. Sorry I've not been able to check up on you these past few weeks. I mean, a lot has been going on at work.
Oh, you really look a little bit tired, Uncle Raymond. I hope you've been resting.
Don't worry, I'm fine. The reason why I'm here is to see how you've grown based on our last discussion.
It's true you did not see my message. I sent you a message.
James, you sent me a message. Sorry. I've been busy. Like, I've not even had time for personal messages.
And I'll still tell you my testimony about what.
Go on.
So, based on last time we talked, last time that you told me about Christ and I need to improve my life and everything, I've taken your advice really seriously. And now that I've accepted Christ, I've read more of my Bible, I've tried to be a better person now.
Interesting.
I can find my anger most of the time when I was still my whole self, my anger used to take over me, but now it started to subside. I'm starting to see things clearer, have peace of mind, and it's really refreshing, I have to admit. So I just want to say thank you for the advice you gave me. It's wonderful. So I just want to say thank you. And Christ is doing a wonderful job in my life.
James, that's really beautiful. I mean, you can see how life is way smoother and clearer now.
Yes.
I mean, it's easier with God, and when you cast all your cares and burdens to Him. So I'm really just keep on praying, studying the Word, listen to messages, and trust me, you'll grow.
Thank you, Uncle Raymond. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so does anybody have any further questions? Mr. Raymond? Mr. Raymond? Mr. Raymond?
Sir?
Please, do you have anything to add to everyone's suggestion?
No, it's fine.
Alright, then that's the end of the meeting. Everyone can have it. Excuse me, Mr. Raymond, please. Can you wait for hand? I would like to see you. happened today, Mr. Raymond? I noticed you weren't really attentive. It seemed like you were absent-minded. I hope you're fine. Talk to me.
It's fine, sir. It's just that a few months back I had this dream where I was teaching kids in school, and in the subsequent times, every time I teach children or I settle disputes among children and people compliment me, I get these flashbacks of the dream. And I think I'm not fulfilling my purpose here at OD Consolidated. It's beginning to dawn on me that maybe my purpose is to teach in a classroom. I mean, look at your son James. He wants me to come and teach at his school, technical drawing, because he feels like I'll be more of an impact at his school. So I feel like I'm not fulfilling my purpose here. I want to fulfill my purpose.
Honestly, Mr. Raymond, I've listened to you, and I do understand where what you said is going. As much as I am very sad and unhappy that I'm going to be losing a very skilled employee, I know that in your search for fulfillment, you will definitely find it, and I would definitely be happy to let you go.
Sir, I didn't even say much to convince you. I'm quite
surprised. Why would you be Raymond? Even my personal relationship with my son James, as soon as you came into the picture, James has started praying. James has started reading his Bible. James relates with me as a father would his son, as a son would his father. Things that I never believed were even possible have suddenly been made possible. If that is truly where you're meant to be, the testimonies that people have brought to me about how you've impacted their lives, not just academically, but even morally, I would actually recommend that you should pursue fulfillment in that field.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lily. I'm really glad you understand me. I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, I really appreciate you. It's been nice working with you, Raymond.
Mr. Raymond, remember what we discussed earlier as you replaced the old TD teacher?
Yes, I do.
Alright. Congratulations. Welcome once again to Wandel School.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Alright, ma'am. Thank you. You too.
Alright.
Good afternoon, Mr. Raymond.
Good afternoon, Rachel. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for the other day. I've been having this thought of suicide, and if you hadn't been in this school or if you hadn't spoken to me, I don't know what would have happened to me, because life had no meaning to me and because nobody cared about me. And you see, there's no difference between home and school. At home, my parents are just busy and they're all concerned about working and making money, and at school, my classmates gossip about me and make jest of me because of the mark on my face, which really made me look ugly. No, it wasn't really my fault because I had an accident when I was much younger. So that was it. It wasn't really my fault that I had this mark on my face. It was as a result of an accident I had when I was much younger. It was quite traumatizing because everyone talked about it wherever I went. And after I finished talking to you, Mr. Raymond, I feel so relieved. Thank you so much.
Thank God, Rachel, because now you understand that what people say about you doesn't matter at all. The only thing that truly matters in this life is what God says about us, what is in His Word, right? And Rachel, the thing is, the thoughts that God have towards us are thoughts of good, of peace, and not of evil. These thoughts are to give us an expected end and to give us a future. So anytime you're feeling down, anytime you're feeling like you need reassurance, just go back to God's words and get that reassurance, because that is what is going to get you through any phase at all in life.